So now we're going to start doing uh, the loan form. So we've managed to create some users and some employees in our business. Those employees have worked. Some of them have established the job card. As for this one, we've seen, and you know, during the month we can receive some employees that can ask for loan uh, from the company, so that they can be able to pay that money, that loan, whenever they get paid. So now we're going to be doing the form that will deal with the loan within the company. So let me take you through how it's going to work. So this is, remember, this is the running program that is working already perfectly, because you and I, we are making a demo, but this is the software that is working. So this is how it's going to be uh, done. So let's say an employee asks for a loan, and then uh, first of all we have to know the details about that employee. So we just have to click on this drop list here, then we select uh, the code that identifies that employee. Well, let's select this one, CLN02, all right? Then I click on search. So it tells me that the name of this employee is Martial Muzingu, and this is today's date, the day she's asking for that loan. Um, so she needs something like 4,500 rand, all right? So I'm talking about rand because this is the currency here in South Africa. It depends on which country are you. So, all right. So she asked for 4.5, and then she said that she needs to pay this money over 2 months, right? And then we have to click on calculate. So that's because you know basically that it's going to be 2.5, 2,250, if I'm not mistaken. But uh, the software is going to do the calculation in an automatic way. All right, so you click on calculate, then it tells you that this is the money that she must be paying whenever she get paid. All right, so this money is going to be that deducted from her salary at the end of the month when payroll is established. So one should be about to get paid, this money should go into the database so that we can be able to make use of it, and in an automatic way this 2,250 should be deducted from her salary. All right, and then if she agrees on this, then we can give her some loan, but we can't give money without saving these informations into the database. All right, so for now I'm not going to save it. I'm not saving it because I'm just explaining to you how it's going to work. But the big deal here is about building this form here. All right, so we're going to build this form with you. Let me close it. So I'm going to launch my Visual Studio. First of all, I need to add a empty Windows form. So I'll go to Projects, Add Windows Form. Okay, under Visual Studio C# items, I select Windows Form. So this is by default how this form is going to be called, but I don't want it to be like this. I want to give it a name that I can easily remember. So that name will be this one, FM loan, all right, which stands for form that deals with the loan. So let me get back to Visual Studio, and then I'm going just to rename it. So this form here is going to be called, or it's going to be named, FM loan. All right, I click on add. Basically it's going to be an empty form, but I have to do the design. So after I'm done with the design of this form, let's go get some code for it to start working. All right, so first of all, before putting any code, I'd like to take you through the database and show you the table that is named uh, loan, because that is going to be the table that will be dealing with the loan. So that table will be in connection with this form here. Let me get to my database and expand here. Just going to my database and then I go to table. The name of the table I'm looking at here, it's TB, what is that? TB, what am I talking about here? Let me just quickly check here. It's about loan. All right, it should be TB loan. There we go. So it's this table here. Let me try to open it on design mode. So on this table, the table for loan, um, just wait a little bit. So on this table, we'll be saving the code of the employee, because once one employee made a loan, we have to identify that employee. It's going to be through a code or an ID that identifies him or her within the business, and obviously her name, the month she took that money for loan, and the amount of the loan, the total amount of money that she made as loan, and the number of months over which she must pay that money. All right, if it's 2 months, so it's going to be 2 months. That information also has to be saved. And again, the amount, the amount of money that she has to pay every time she got paid. So these informations must be saved into the database. That is the reason why I have already created a table named TB loan that will be in connection with this form here, right? Let me just remove this guy here. It's not important. Just going to save. So the first thing to do, we have to load this combo box here with the code from the table of the employees, so that once we click on this combo box, is going to display the code that are inside the database from the table employee. And then after loading this combo box here, we must be able to search through based on this code that will be displayed here. We're going to search through so we can see back from the database being displayed on this zone here, the informations regarding an X or Y employee within the company. So the first thing to do, as I said, let's go load this combo box here. I'm going to double click on the form. Then I'm going to create a method. I'll call that method, let's say, private void. Let's say fill combo. Which one? Fill combo loan. All right. And without wasting time, I'm just gonna copy and paste this uh, method that I just created on my form load, so that whenever I load the form, it's going to be loaded, all right, without wasting time. This is what you have been doing, remember, guys. So let me go get the code that will help me to fill this combo box with the code with the ID from the table or from the employee table. So I already created the code sys for that, the source code. All right, this is the source code I'm talking about. Just going to copy and quickly paste it. Let me get back on my form. So yeah, actually it has to be on the method that I just created. So I'm just going to paste it. As you can see, there are some underlying things. So it's telling us that there is no connection. So we can't use these things that we just put here because there's no connection. Uh, so to get this one fixed, I have to create a namespace that deals with database, right? And you quickly use it. So I'm going to say using system dot data dot SQL client. Okay, and then I have to open my connection string so I can connect my Visual Studio to the database. So connection string, let me take it here because I already created. Actually, it's not created on all the pages, on all the forms. There is connection string, so I can just copy it because I already made it available to make things easy. So that has to be under public partial class, so that throughout the software I don't need to declare it anymore because it's going to be public. So on the entirety of this form I can just make use of it, and then it's gonna work because I already made it public. So you can see here it's no longer underlined with a red color. That means that the connection has been done. All right, but only by putting the connection string. Okay, so since this form we just created it, if I can launch the software, it's not going to be loaded, this one by default, because there will be another form which I created previously that will be loaded. So let me make it the startup page, so that once I load it, and then it's going to be the one that is going to be code. Let me look for it. It's for loan. Here it is. Let me just try to copy the way I name it, and then I go to program.cs. I change this property. I put this form here. Let me launch it. All right. So this form is loaded. Let me try to see if we can pull the code. Yeah, we are able to get the code from the database, from the table code employee. But now the second thing to do is to click on searching button so we can display the informations related, or the informations that are in connection with this code here, this ID here. Let me just go for it quickly. I'm gonna get back to the form, and then the button I need to put code is this one, searching button. But I already prepared this source code for it. Let me just go fetch it quickly. All right, here it is. Get there, and then I paste it. All right, let me start, and just going to select one ID or one code here. Let's say this one. All right, by clicking on search, then it gives us the name of that person. Let's go for the second one, and then it's changed to the second person. So far so good. We managed to do two things already: loading this combo box and searching the informations. So the second thing to do is to do the um calculation. So this calculate button is empty. Let me put some code for this for that. Just going to look for it here because I already created it. All right, it's a little code I have to take here. Let me copy it. All right, and now just going to paste it. Calculate. By the way, if you come back here, once you launch this one, this form, you'll see it's loaded with the dates. You know, you don't need to type it. It's loaded with this date already. So I have to do it so that it can start also. I mean, once it's loaded, it has to display these dates. I'll go for that. It's going to be on the load events. So it's going to be here. Let me get that code. Here it is here. Just going to display the dates on my screen. Sorry. I'm displaying this date on the label. All right, so I'm telling Visual Studio that I want you to display the dates on this label here. Where is the label? Yeah, this label here. All right. So if I launch, you can see it's going to display the dates. As you can see now, the date is loaded. All right. So let's now go check the calculation here. So the calculation here is very something very small. What it's doing here is taking the amount that someone or employee is asked for a loan from the company. Is going to take that amount and then divide it by the number of months that employee will be paying. So it's all about amounts divide by month. So you can see the calculation is amounts taken divide by the month. All right, that is the calculation. It's very simple. So let's go for it. I select an employee, I search through it, and the amount, let's say 1,200. How many months? 2. Click on calculate. There we go. So you can see we are able now to calculate how much this employee must pay to the company. So now once you've done this, we have to save these informations into the database. So let's go for designing, uh, not designing because the table exists already, but putting code for this saving button. Yeah, for this button to insert the information into the database. I'm just going to get back to the form and then I double click on save. For now it's blank. Let me go copy the code that I created already. All right, I'm going to copy, sorry, but this is the code I'm referring to. I'm going to copy it and paste it. Let me comment this line here. I'll tell you why I'm commenting this line. It's useful. So, but you can see here, I just commented it, but it's useful. Let me uncomment, then I'm going to explain to you why. Let me uncomment it. It's uncomment is going to underline it. I knew that. Why? Because it's a method that we are using, but yet this method is not created yet. All right, so we have to create this method. As you can see, this method it's called move loan. Why am I calling this method move loan? Let me get back to the interface here. So this is the logic. Once someone took loan and we click on save, actually once someone took loan, we click on calculate, it gives us all the details. Then we have to save those informations. But by saving these informations, we have to save these informations into the table, like I said, called or named TB loan. But since the money that has been taken by that employee has to be paid over a certain amount of a month, it might be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It depends on the agreement, but we can understand that that money is not going to be paid once, so it's gonna take months to be paid. But what is going to happen is this: we have to create a let me get back there. We have to create a move loan, that is a table. Let me get back to the database. That is, I'm talking about this table here. That is a table that will be saving temporarily the informations in that table. So let's say that employee must pay, he made a loan for in the amount of 10,000. Then he said he's gonna pay over 2 months. That is, each and every month that employee must be paying 500. So it's going to be 500 times 2. All right. So the first time when he paid, the first month when he paid, we're going to save that money into the table called uh, loan. Here, this table here, this is going to be the first month. But that money is not finished yet. He has to pay again so that he can settle his balance. So at the same time, it means that we have to save those informations inside two tables. For the table that deals with the loan, and we also have to save that information into this table that I name movement. Why? Because here, this table here must receive the information for the first time that the customer, the employee paid, and it has also to receive the information for the second time that that employee had paid. And once the balance or the total of the amount paid into that table regarding that employee matches the amount that that employee took as loan from the business, and automatically this table here based on the code of that employee is going to be empty, so it can allow next time that same employee or somebody else to pay the money. But so this table code TB move loan, it only temporarily exists, or it's only temporary having the I mean the power once the balance is not settled, as long as the balance is not settled. But once the balance is settled, this table move loan is going to automatically get empty, as opposed to, but on the other side, on the contrary, the table for loan will never be empty, because this cannot be empty for for future consultation purpose, for checking history, if this guy has been making loan, if he has been paying, and so forth. So this table will be here permanently, as long as you will be saving the informations. Those informations will be saving on this table here. But when it's come to settling balance, the settling balance will be about this table here, TB move loan. All right, as we go through this software, we'll see the use of this table here. But for now, try to understand it as it is. If it seems to be a bit puzzling for you, take it as it is. Definitely with the payroll system, we'll see the use of this table here. All right, so let me get back to the software here. So I'm going to create a method called move loan, but I already got that method. Let me just get it. This is the method that I already created. So I'm just gonna call it, copy it, and then I'll paste it there. All right, we managed to paste this method. You can see now it's no longer underlining because the method now has been created. Let me execute and try to save some informations. We'll see what I'm talking about. Just going to launch it. Then I click on, let's say this is the second employee who's going to make a loan. She need 6,000 and she wanna pay it over 3 months. Once you click on calculate it, it tells you that actually, let me try to underline here. Let me try to make this a bit dark because I blocked the access to this text box here. So let me try to change the font property of that component of this text box. I wonder if it's a text box. Yeah, it is. So I'll go to fonts. Actually, it's a label. It's not even accessible, but I can change the font property of it. All right, it's fonts. So I'm just going to make it bold and try to increase the fonts try to increase the size. So let me put 11 and then take it bold. Now let's say narrow bold, and then I'll see how it goes there. All right. So I select the employee, then I click on search. She need 6,000. She's gonna pay it over 3 months. I click on calculate. All right, now it's a bit finer. It's bold now. So I have to click on save now. I click on save, they disappear. Let me now go to my database here. Okay, I have to refresh. All right, I go to table. First of all, let me open the table named loan. With loan, I open it. As you can see, we just managed to save the data, the information into this table regarding the loan that has been made. All right, let me do this because I'm gonna open a second table. So on this table here, this is the permanent table. We created this information here. We just save it. So it's the second employee whose name is Martial. This is the month, the dates. Today's date, actually, this is the amount that she took. She says she's gonna pay over 3 months, and how much money she must pay every month? It's 2,000 rand. All right. So let's go search through the table movements also. If you will be able to find that. There we go. So we are also able to see this very same information from the table named movements. So as I said, this table is not permanent, it's temporary, while the balance is not settled. That is how we're going to make it. But soon after the balance is settled, that table will be empty. All right, so sorry, oh, man, I do this. All right, so we have what am I doing here? Sorry guys, this thing is getting me crazy. So we have the same informations but saved into two different databases, like I said, into two different tables. All right, I think you got now the use of this code that we just created here, this source code. So now we managed to load our combo box to search through the details of a particular employee based on the identity of that employee within the company. And then we also were able to calculate, and we also were able to save the informations, this very same informations, but into two different tables. Now we are left with one, two, three, four, sorry, four button. So the next one is the cancelling or the cleansing of the zone button. So that is easy. Let me just go to the saving, the registration of the button. Uh, so it's all about labels and yeah, so it's this stuff here. Let me take them. Actually, let me do this. All right. Okay, I'll click on cancel and I copy it, but we don't need to clear. All right, command. So it's going to empty combo box, empty name, label month must not be empty. This one has to be live. All right, so it should be fine like this. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So I think that is fine. So let's go to the updating button. So because you can also update some informations if you wish to. So I'm just gonna go get the code that I created already. Where it is, updating button. Here it is. I'm just going to copy it and paste it So we know as it works. This is just the updating button. There's not too much explanation here. And let's try to speed up things. And there are so many things here. I think for a while we have been seeing authorization. This is authentication. This will be one of the last thing to do with you. All right, so I'm going to explain to you how it works. I'm going to explain to you how it works. So we did the saving button, the updating. We'll go to, we're going to verify it, but let's try to push. So let's select also the delete button. Where is it? Delete button. And then quit button, exit button. It's easy. You can just say this dot close. That should be fine. All right, seems like there are a few details. Okay, let me also share some details with you. So it's about, I'm just going to skip this authorization. I'll explain to you later is how it works. All right, so let's go for key press. So we're going to um to 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 instruct Visual Studio that whenever we type here or we put a value, let me just show you the running software. So it's about loan. Here on these two zone, you can't put a letter. As for now, I'm gonna be using a letter. You know, I'm hitting on different letter on my keyboard, but it's not doing anything. Here we're going to close it in such a way that it does not allow letters or special characters. It only allows, sorry, that so that you can only allow the digits. Digits is from 0 to 9, from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9. All right, so we can close it by making use of key press. Let me just copy it. So I'll just copy from here to here. All right, I select it. Let me get back to my zone, to my text box. This is the text box. I'm gonna go to the event, then I'll look for key press events. All right, here it is. Just going to paste it. So now I'm instructing Visual Studio that on this text box, whenever I make use of it, it can only allow me the digit here. All right, it can only allow me the digit. It cannot allow me the special characters or letters. All right, let's get back to the same for this number of month text box here. I'm going to events, then I select key press. Where's key press? Here it is. I paste the code. There we go. Let me try to launch the software. I select an employee. How many months? I'm gonna put some letters here. It's not working. You can hear I'm tapping on different letters from the keyboard. Nothing. Second one, nothing. It's happening. So let's try to cancel. We've cleared the zone. Okay, let's try to do some updates here. That is fine for now. We can exit. So basically all the 6 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically all the 6 buttons for this form here are working. So we're done for now, because there are still few things that we need to add. By few things I'm referring to these guys here, where it says authorization or authentication. We'll see the use of them later as we are going along with this software. But as for now, we're done putting some code for this form here that will be dealing with the form. Sorry, that will be dealing with the loan. So next thing to do is to design this other form here, this interface that will deal with the payroll system. All right, this is what you're going to do. Okay, so I'm done with the design of this form, the one that will be dealing with payroll system. So let me try to launch it. I'm going to quickly explain to you how it's going to work after we put all the code. So once you launch the this form, you're going to get this interface here. This is the one that is going to be loaded. So obviously, you have to select a code that belongs to an employee. Once you click on search, it's going to give you all the details that belong to that employee. So which kind of details am I referring to? I'm talking about the gender of that employee, the company is working for, the branch, the department, the date, today's date why the payroll system is being established, and the date that the person or that employee was hired, and the total of hours which are required during a month for employee to work, so they can be able to calculate his salary and the rate per hour, and also the total of hours that are required for employee to work within a given month. And obviously we have the software will be able to calculate the overtime and the total days. By total days, I'm talking about it from the day that the ex employee has joined the company to the day that the payroll system is established. You know, that's what I'm referring to as for a total of days. And obviously, the system must be able to tell us how many months a given employee has been working within this company, and also it's going to tell us the status, I mean the state of that employee, whether is someone who's already permanent, working like a permanent worker in the company, or is someone who's still under probation, or who is working, you know, waiting for him to start, I mean to sign a permanent contract. That's why I'm referring to the state or status of someone here. All right. So on this other side here, in the middle of the form, the software must be able, after we've selected a code and then search through it, it must be able to tell us the overtime, the rate per hour for overtime, because the rate for normal hours that is required for the employee, like here, has to be lower compared to the rate for overtime. All right, let's say for instance, if per hour an employee is paid 20 rand, for overtime he has to be maybe 25 or 30 rand. So that difference has to be clarified here on this form. So once you click on search, it's going to give us those details. All right, and obviously extra, by extra I'm referring to, oh no, when someone has worked extra mile, let's say, you know, because this company they work from Monday to Saturday, but if they decide to call some people to come work during Sunday, I mean to work on Sunday, these are the things that we qualify as extra, you know. So the rate for extra hours has to be higher than uh, the rate per hour, which is a normal rate, or the rate for overtime, which is also a bit higher compared to rate per hour. So, but if someone worked on Sunday or maybe on public holidays, those days are known as being extra according to the need of the company when they ask me to build this software. All right, and obviously the software, I mean this application, this software must be able to tell us the amount of that extra. All right, and the software will be able to calculate unpaid leave. By unpaid leave, I'm referring to this because a employee is required to work a certain known total hours per month. So if someone has worked less than those total hour per month, where it says hour required, so if someone worked during a month, the total of hours that you worked is less than hours which are required within the business, automatically the system is going to assign the lack of days of hours, or hours that that person um, you know, work during the month. So if there's a minus on the total here, if the total of hours that person has worked is less than what is required of him, it has to give us the difference of those hours, and those difference will be automatically qualified as being unpaid leave, and they're going to deduct that money from that employee. It's going to tell us, let's say, maybe 40 hours, and the amount of 40 hours is going to be displayed here, and then obviously is going to be deducted from the earnings of that person. So an employee can also be able to generate some commissions. If he or she has generated some commissions during a given month. When we are establishing the payroll system, we can also include that commission here so that it can be added on his salary. All right. And also the system will be able to tell us the grade or the position of that employee within the business, and the basic salary, annual bonus if it is applicable, if it is applied. Annual bonus is only applied when it's December, only when it is the end of the year. As for now, it's February, so there won't be nothing here. All right, so it has to be a zero, must be displayed on this place here. And we can also, through this system, be able to calculate the provident fund for an employee, the UIF, and if this employee has made some loan, he owes money to the company in terms of loan, the system must be able to tell us that, you know what, this person that you are paying owes this money to the company. And then we'll see the deduction, which is the total of all the outputs, all the outcome of the employee has to be displayed here on the deduction. Gross earnings, by gross earnings, we are referring to all the income that the employee has been working for during the month. So that will be displayed here on the gross earnings. And net pay obviously is the difference, is the balance. That is gross earnings minus total of deduction. And then once we do the calculation here, then we're going to obviously find the net pay, the money that the employee has to be paid for that for a given month. All right, so that is for the explanation regarding these two zones here. So on the last section here, it's about the loan. So let's say that this employee that we are about to pay owes money to the company. That is that he has made some loan for previous month. So the system, by only searching the code or the ID that belongs to that employee, the system must be able to automatically display on the screen here on these zones that, you know what, this guy owes this money to the company. So that is I think overall that's the explanation of this form here. So after you get to understand how this form is going to work, let me now start putting some code so that it can work the way we want it to work. All right. First thing to do, we have to start loading this combo box here. We have to put the code that will be able to load this combo box with the IDs or the code. By code, I'm just referring to the IDs that belong to the employees which are found within the database. All right. So let me just double click on this form here. I'm going to use loading event, the loading events to make use of a method which I have to create. But first of all, let me create that method. Just going to call it private void. Let me say fill. Let me call it fill combo code. All right. That's how I want this method to be called, fill combo code. Okay. Then I put this. All right. Let me save it. So I'm going to, because I already make I already made the source code that we're going to be using for this application. Just going to make use of it. So let me just load the way I is the yeah, there it is. This is the method that I created. Just going to load it and paste it to make things easier. So let me just remove this uh, thing here. All right. So I paste it. So the method that I created is called fill combo code. So we're going to fill this combo box here with the code from the table named TB employee. But you can see these things here, this command here and this connection here are underlined. Why? Because there's no namespace which is specified. So let me create namespace. That's going to call it using system.data.sql clients, and I put semicolon here. All right, so the namespace has been put now. Let me now go onto putting a connection string so that we can be able to open our database and to start using it. On putting connection string, I already created it. I'm just going to paste it. So these lines here is about the connection string and the comment that I'll be using for me to be able to read data and to manipulate data is2x. Okay, I'm just going to paste it here. Sorry, just gonna paste it here. All right, so you can see here is no longer underlining. But to make things easier, I don't want to waste time. I have to copy this method here and put it on loading events, semicolon. I think now we can be able to load our combo box with data from code, with ID or code from the table named TB employee. So let me just start the software. Okay, software is launched. I'm going to, all right, you can see now we're doing fine, doing fine. So we were able to load our combo box with the code. But as for now, this searching button here is not working because it was supposed to be able to give us the details regarding this form here. All right. But before going that far, I'd like to, because there are a few things that must be done right after this form has been loaded. All right, so I have to use the loading event here to put some code so we can make things easier. I already created those source code, which are these ones. So these source code I created are these ones, which we have to paste on the loading form event. Let me get back there. So just gonna come back here and then paste it. There's a duplication of this line. Let me just remove one. It's great now. Okay. Yeah, something is wrong here. Let me just fix it quickly. All right, so I see what went on. I'm supposed to take this method completely the way it is. I think this time around it should work. Go down and paste it. It's good. So there's a duplication of this line here. Let me remove one. So it's underlining this combo box for code. The idea is that despite the fact that you can find the information, the code here, when you click, you can also drop down this combo box here so you can be able to load this combo box with the name of the employees. That is the reason why you can see here it's underlined. So we made use of this method, but we haven't created this method yet. All right. So let me just create this method to make things easier because I've already created it. Here it is. All right. I think I got it right. All right. Let me still. All right. Let me do this. Just gonna paste it here. Okay. This is the combo box. Combo box that will be dealing with the name of the employees. You can see it's no longer underlined. All right. So that is good. The next thing to do, actually let me launch. Then we can see what's going to happen to the loading events once the form is loaded. So you can see once the form is loaded, this date here will appear. Which date am I referring to? Well, I'm referring to today's date. Today is the 22nd of February 2022. So this date has to be displayed. That is the date. By today's date, I'm referring to the date that should be displayed on this screen whenever you are making use of a payroll system. So the date that is going to appear is going to be an automatic date, which is going to be the date of that day when you are establishing this payroll system. So we're done with loading form. We are able now to see the code or the ID that belongs to the employee, but we are not yet able to search through to see, to know uh, which employee is identified by this code here. So let's go for coding this searching button here. I'll get back to the interface and I'm going to double click on the button. For now, the the button is empty. I have to put some code, some source code, so we can be able to search through the database and found the information that is related or that belong to a certain code here or a given ID, and those informations will be displayed on the screen. So let me go to the source code where I put them. There's a searching button, here it is. I'm just going to copy all this code here the way they are, then I'll paste them there. So searching button, paste it, and I save it. You can see it's underlining. Why is underlining? Obviously there's one more semicolon here which is an extra, so I got to take it off. Let me try to do this. Actually, I have to add more. Actually, it's this one. This is useless one. Cool. So now it's underlining, deleting, field data, grid view, and rate over time. So these are the methods that I created, which are very important for this program to run to run softly. So I made use of this method, but I did not create this method yet. So without uh, without wasting time, I'm just going to copy and paste this method here. Then we're going to see the use of this method. All right. So the first method, it fill the text alone. I got it. Let me look for it. Fill the text alone. Here it is. Fill text alone. I'm going to copy the way it is, then I'll paste it there. Let me copy it and then just going to paste it under this one. Right. Let me check if it's working. Now you can see it's no longer underlined. So let's go for the second one. The second one is fill data grid view. By data grid view, I'm referring to this stuff here because we have to be able to see the information that belong to the table named loan once we search the informations regarding a given employee. Okay, so we have to fill this data grid view here with some code. That is the reason why we created a method called fill data grid view. So it is underlined because we made use of this method, but we haven't put it yet. So let me go grab it. That method data grid. Here it is. This is the method. I copy it, and I come down here. Let me just put it under this one. I'm gonna put it below this one. Let's go see if it's still underlined. You can see it's no longer underlined. All right. So let's go for tot paid. By tot paid, it's a method which is called total paid. It's underlined because it's used, but it's not found. It's not. No, we did not put it yet. So let's go for it. I'm going to look for this method here, tot paid, which stands for total amount paid. Let me go for it quickly. Tot paid. Here it is. I copy it like this. Let me come here. I'm just going to paste it. I paste it. I think it's no longer going to underline. Yeah, it's no longer underline. Now we are left with balance here. So let's go look for balance. Copy it. If it seems to be a bit puzzling to you, just calm down. I'm going to explain to you. You'll understand how it works. So let me copy this. Let me paste this method here. Yeah, this one must be here. Okay. Let me go back to searching button. Now we can see they are no longer underlined, but some few stuff here are also underlined. All right, so deleting is this one. The method that belongs to the deleting event is this one. Just going to copy it also one more time, and I come here. I'm going to paste it below, uh, just below balance. Come here, I paste it. Now we are left with a rate overtime here. It's a method. It's also very important for the software. But let me just grab it and then paste it. We'll see the use of that. So rate overtime, where it is. And try to scan down here. Rate overtime. There's a method which I named rate overtime. Just call it overtime. Here it is. So this is the method. I copy it as it is. I'm just going to paste it here. Just going to paste it here. Deleting, okay. All right. Let me add one more semicolon here. Do this semicolon. Nope. Yeah. Okay, it's fixed. Okay, for this one, I have to just let me try to comment it for now because we're gonna do the delete later. All right, let it be like that. Something is still fishing out. There must be one more semicolon. Actually, brackets. All right. Yeah, now it's fine. I think it's fine now. Okay. Let me try to explain to you what is going to happen once you click on the searching button. So once you click on the searching button, we're going to search the informations that are found inside the table named employees by using a code of that employee. So it's going to give us, for instance, the gender, the date that that employee was hired, his position within the business, his name, the company he's working for, the branch, the department, and obviously the date he was hired. And you know, remember at some point I told you that the system must be able to tell us how many days has this employee working within the business since, from the day he has joined the company. So those calculations are done here. There'll be a video that I'm going to make explaining how to do the calculation of with explaining with more details how the payroll system works. But this one I'm just giving you an overview as to how it works. But that does not stop me from explaining to you how to know that how to know the day, the total of days that an employee is totalized during, from the day he has joined the company to the day that we are establishing this payroll system. So those calculations are done using these lines here. For instance, we know that a day has got, a month has got 30 days, all right? And also, so the calculation is on this line here. input what? Input here is going to tell us the total of the days that someone or a given employee has worked during a month, and it's going to be displayed somewhere on the here. It's going to be displayed somewhere here. Total of days, all right? Total days. So let me get back this side. So if the total days that someone has worked, I mean, if you find the total of days, that is when we're going to take the total of days and then we're going to divide it by days, which are 30. So let's say if someone has worked for 90 days within the company, so by dividing it by 30, it's going to give us an answer, which is going to be 3. And that 3 will be 3 months because he worked 90 days within, I mean, since the day he has joined the company. And if we take 90 days, we divide by 3, we divide 90 days by 30 days, we found 3, which will be like an answer. So that will tell us that this person is totalized 3 months in the company. Okay, so the system is built in such a way that you can say that someone is permanent or is waiting for probation. How do you know that someone is waiting for probation? And how do we know that someone is permanent? Well, the code that helps us to know that someone is waiting for probation or someone is already permanent is by putting this condition here. So the condition is if the months, I mean the total of months that someone has been working during this company, if the total of that month equals its superior or equals to 3, and then the status of that person will say that this person is permanent. So if someone has already totalized 3 months or he has worked more than 3 months, that person automatically will become permanent. Otherwise, this code here, this condition here will be applied. So let me get back here. If someone is permanent, that is that he has worked 3 months or more, the software will tell us that this person is permanent, and the rates per hour of that person is going to be rate 1. So which one is rate 1? Is this one. That is per hour, the company would be paying 35 rand 48 cents per hour if someone only is working already as permanent. That is, someone has totalized already 3 months or more within the company. But if the condition is not applied, is not certified, that is, if someone has worked less than 3 months, this code here will be applied. So first of all, the system will tell us that this person is waiting for probation, and the rate per hour for that person will be rate hour 2. That is, which is this one. So for someone who has worked, who's not permanent, his rate is 22 rand 12 cents. You can see it's lower compared to this one. So this is how the software has been built. So that is the meaning of these lines here. So these details here should be displayed on the screen just because we selected a code or an ID that belongs to an employee, and once we click on search, it's going to give us this answer. Okay, so let's go for it. I'm going to start the software, then I will select one of the employee, and then we're going to click on search to see the real situation of that employee. We'll start with this one. I select employee number 1. Once I click on search, it gives us all these answers here. It tells us that this is his name, he's a female, working for cleaning, for Centurion. The position in the company is a sales. This is the date, today's date where this payroll system is established, and this is the date that guy got hired. It was 29th of January 2021. So how many hours is required? We don't know. We're going to know how many hours is required in this company for someone to work within a month once we click on wage, but we did not put the source code for wage yet. All right, so let's skip, but we'll see how many hours is required for someone to work for during a month. But obviously we can see that the rate for this person here is 35 rand 48 cent. Why? Because the state or the status of this person says that he's working already as permanent. So why this person is permanent? It is because this person has already totalized 389 days, and 389 days, if you divide by 30, it's going to give you 13. Why 30? 30 in terms of 30 days for a month. And once you take 389 divide by 13, you got divide by 30, you got 13. And this 13 here says that this guy has been already working for 13 months in this company. That is why you can see automatically the system tells us that this person is permanent. But let's go for someone who's been recently hired in the company. So let's go for this last employee here. I go to search. You see things are different here because the system tells us that we are making this payroll today, but this guy just got hired on the 14th of February 2022. So the rate of this person is lower, is 22 rand, you know. And how many days since he has joined the company? It's only 8 days. The status of this person is still waiting for probation. Why? Because it's not meeting the requirements for someone to become permanent. Someone must be working for 3 months, but this one is just work for 8 months. So we can see that the system tells you right away what is going to be happening. And on this side, the system tells us the rates of overtime. All right, is telling us the rate of overtime. How do we know this rate? Because of the code that I'm about to share with you here. I'm going to calculate the rate of overtime, all right? But we can see they are displayed here. I'm going to explain to you how do we get this rate for overtime. And this is the grade of this employee, one of the cells within the company. And the system tells us that this guy does not owe any money to the company. That is, he does not made any loan here. That's why you can see about the loan, it says 0 0 0 0 everywhere. So loan here also says 0, so there's no deduction for this person. All right, and here also we can see the name, the month, the amount, the amounts, total paid and balance. By name, I am referring to the name of the employee, the month that he has made the loan, the amount of that loan, and how many months has that person agreed to be paying the loan for, and the total paid if he already started paying, and obviously the balance if what he paid or what he has paid already is less than what it took like amount, and then the balance is going to be activated here. But we can see here it's empty. Why? Because there is no loan record for this employee here. Let's get back to overtime here, because we spoke about overtime. How do we get to see, how do we get to know that the overtime of this person is 55 rands, comma 21 cents? How do we know that? Well, let me take you through the code because I already put that code here. So I'll get back to overtime, which is this one. So there's a method, remember there's a method that we just pasted, which is called overtime. Let me go find that method. Here it is. So this is the method that helps deal with overtime. So the method tells us this. This method allocate, or this method give the value to different overtime, and the overtime are allocated to people according to their grade or according to their position in this company. So let me explain to you how this code works here. So the condition is this: if the grade of this person is like director, if he's occupying the position as being director within this company, so the rate of overtime for this person here, the rate I'm referring to this line here, all right? So the rate of overtime for this person is going to be 223 rand. All right, 200 rand and 23 cents if only he's a director. So if he's not a director, let's say he's a branch manager, his overtime will be 110 rand 28 cents. If he's not a branch manager, but he's just a manager, he's a manager, all right, his overtime will be 80 rand and 24 cents. So if he's not manager, is not branch manager, is not a director, but this person is a receptionist, his overtime will be 69 rand and 29 cents. Okay, so if this person is occupying none of these positions, let's say he's not a director, he's not a branch manager, he's not a manager, he's not a receptionist, but is somebody else, is occupying any other different position than these ones that are mentioned here. So the rate for that person will be 55 rand 21 55 rand 21 cents. That is the reason why when we come here in the database, when we come here in this form here, we search for this employee here, it tells us that the grade of this guy is technician. And since his grade is technician, he's not a branch manager. He's a technician. He's not a branch manager. He's not a manager. He's not a receptionist. So which means, is not fulfilling any of these requirements here. So he's occupying a different position. So this guy is a technician. He's a different from this one. That's why the rate is this one, 55 rand and 21 cents. We can see here 55 rand 21 cents. Okay, I think now you get it nicely. So now we are able to search to find that these are the informations for this employee here, but this guy here doesn't have any loan. Let's try to give some loan to this employee. Okay, so now that we managed to give some loan to the employees, let's try to check. I'm going to start with the employee number 1. Okay, so we can see here we are able to know how much this employee here owes to the company. He made a loan on Wednesday, February 23, 2022. The amount was 5,000. He agreed on paying over 2 months, which means that every month he must pay 2,500. And for now, he did not pay anything. That is the reason why the balance equals the total, the amount of money that made as loan, because he hasn't paid anything. Okay, so we can see a month per month here is automatically applied, displayed here on the loan. That means that every time this guy got paid, we're going to deduct this money here. And then it's going to be like that until the total paid will be the total of the money that he made as loan, and the balance will be 0. And once the balance is 0, there won't be any loan here that will be displayed for this employee because he has already paid that money. How does that work? Well, we'll go to that level after a few minutes, but as for now, we can see that we are able to display on the screen all the informations that are related to this employee just by using his ID. Okay, but now we need to go to the second level, that is putting some code source so we can be able to calculate how much money does this employee deserve for a given month. Okay, so we're now going to put the code for this wages button here. So I'll get back to the form where it is. Here it is, and then I'll click on wages here. So for now it's empty. I have to put some source code here. I already created those code. Just going to copy and paste it. So I named it wages where it is. I think it's down here. All right, wages, here it is. Okay, take from here. It's up to long code anyway. Okay, up to here. So I'm just going to copy it. By the way, as I said, I'm gonna make a video explaining line after line how this source code here work. But as for now, I'm not gonna give you so many explanations because it's just for demonstration. But because these code are too long, I'm going to make a video explaining. There will be only a video explaining how the payroll system works. How did I use? I mean, how do this code here work? All right. Okay, so this code here, I already paste them. Let me go to. I'm going to start the software. So let me select this employee here. I click on search. It gives us all these answers here. And then I have to specify how many hours does this guy work for a month. Let's say he worked for 200 hours for this month. So by clicking on wages, the software tells us that this guy worked 200 hours per month, but he was supposed to work 182 hours. That means that there's an extra of hours which is called overtime. So this guy generated 18 hours, which is more with that the one that is required, the hours that are required for him. That is that means that he has made some overtime, which are 18 hours. All right. So rate per hour, rate overtime per hour is 55 rands 21 cents. We already spoke about this value here because we saw how do we calculate that. Okay, then we come down here. So far, this guy was supposed to get this money, 7,551 rands 14 cents. But unfortunately, this is not the money he's getting. He's getting 4,434 rands 55 cents. Why? Because there are some deductions that are operated from a salary, and the total amount of deduction gives us the amount of 3,016 rand and 59 cents. But how do we get this value here? Well, it's just the accumulation of all the output of the outcome, all the outputs of this guy here. And by outcome, I am referring to the provident fund, which is this one, and the UIF of this guy, which is also this one. And this guy also had made loan. We know that he got 5,000 loan, but he agreed that each and every single month he must pay the amount of 2,500. So if we take UIF plus provident fund plus loan, it gives us a total of 3,016 rand and 59 cents. All right. So to find the net pay, which is the money that this uh, employee must be paid, we took gross earnings, and gross earnings is the accumulation of all the income of this employee. So if we take all the income of this employee, that's when we go to gross earning. So net pay will be gross earning minus deduction. That is when we get net pay here. All right. So far we've managed to see how much this guy. We managed to see how can we find the total by using this form to know how much this employee must be paid for this month. But let's say this guy got also some extra. I think I've explained to you how extra works. Oh, this extra is not working because I did not activate it yet. Okay, by the way, I can leave it as it is. So we are now so far able to see how much someone can be paid, but we are not yet able to know. We are not yet able to insert these informations into the database. All right. By insertion, I'm talking about saving these information. So what are we going to save? Well, we have to save the informations regarding the pay of this guy. All these, overtime, all the provident fund, the UIF, the loan, the deduction, gross earnings, and net pay must be saved or must be saved into the database. And also, because by saving these informations into the database, this person would have paid also the loan because he owes money to the company. And once we save these informations, that means that this guy is going to get money less than what he was supposed to do. Why? Because he paid some loan. So that means that we have to save the informations both into the code, into the table for payroll system. So there will be a table which is called payroll. Let me show you. What is the table? So this is the table. So we have to save the informations into this table here. Some informations are found because I already made some payments. But anyway, by the way, let's skip it for now. I'm just going to explain to you. So we have to found the details that belong to this guy into this table here. We have to save these information into this table. The code, the name, the gender, company, branch, department, due date, and require, and so forth. But not only we have to save all these informations about the gross earnings, UIF provident, deduction, net pay, and loan, and so forth. We also must be able to save the informations regarding the loan of this company, because by saving this guy would have paid money 2,500 for this month. So that means that we have to save into the payroll system, and we also have to save like proof that this guy had already paid money. So we're going to use two tables to save or to insert the information. It's going to be this table for payroll and also the table for paid, which will show that this guy paid money. And it should be also a table called TB paid move. You're going to see the reason why we call this table paid move. All right, but that's for now. You have to understand that once we click on save, we're going to save into the table called payroll, and immediately, simultaneously, we also have to save into the table called TB paid or table paid and table paid move. Okay, so it's going to be three operations only by clicking once on the edge. Okay, so let's go for adding button. Just gonna do this. Let me get back to the interface. Let me click on add. For now it's empty. I have to get it fixed. I have to put some source code. Yeah, here it is. This is the button. So this is the source code for adding button. I'm just going to copy where it is. Up to here. Let me copy it and come here, paste it. Okay, so like I said, what are we saving? We are saving into the table named payroll, but at the same time we have to save into the table named save paid, and again in the table named paid move. Okay, by using these two methods here. So I made use of this method, but I did not create it yet. All right, so let me go for it. I'm going to copy this method here because I already created it. I got it already. I'm just going to copy it and paste it. It's called save paid. Let me look for save paid. Here it is. This is the method that deals with that saves the information regarding the payments that an employee has made into the database. So I'm going to copy that method here. You can see it's no longer underlined. All right, it's gone. At the same time, you also have to save the same information regarding the payment into the table called paid move. Why paid move? I'm going to explain to you why I name it paid move. But this is a method I made use of, but I did not create it yet. All right, so let me go for it. Paid move, here it is. I'm just going to copy it as it is like this. Let me paste it below this one. I paste it here. I think now it's gonna stop underlining. Paid move. What's going on? It's still underlining. I'm going to see the way I name it. So it's underlining because I did not make it in a nice way. It was actually supposed to be under this. Okay, now that we managed to put some source code for adding button. So what are we going to add? We're going to, by clicking on this button, we're going to do 3 operations at the same time. So we're going to save the informations into the table. We're going to make use of this method. I'm going to explain to you what is the meaning of this method. This method is called save paid. And we're also going to make use of this method here, the method named paid move. So why save paid? Let me go back. Let me go to that method. In this method here, we are specifying that if the amount of loan is superior to 0, that means that the employee owes money to the company. And then this is what is going to happen. We're going to save the informations into the database, into the table named TB paid. Okay, this table here, what is it? TB paid here. Okay, so what are we going to save? Well, we're going to save the code for that employee, the total amount of money that this guy paid to the company, the total that he paid back, and obviously the balance, which is the balance that is left. All right, that is what we're going to save into the database, especially in the table named TB paid, only by clicking on one button. So first of all, we're going to make use of this method here by saving into that table, and again at the same time we'll be making use of this method here. So this method is named paid move. Let me go to that method and I'm going to explain to you how it works. What is that paid move? Here it is. So this is the method I was talking about, paid move. So first of all, why did I name this method paid move? Well, I named this method paid move. Let me go. So which means by making use of this method, we're going to be saving the information into the database, especially, and particularly in the table name TB paid move. Let's go to the table TB paid move, which is this one. So why we call this name? Why we name this table TB move loan? Sorry, is this one actually paid move? Okay, so why we name it TB paid move? Well, We name it like this because once an employee managed to pay the money, the total amount that he owed to the company, those informations will be automatically removed from this table here. Because why? That will show that this guy does not owe any money to the company anymore. So let's say if he made 10,000 like loan, his loan, but then for the first month when he got paid, he only paid half of that amount, that is 5,000. So that means that he's left with 5,000, which he has to pay for the month to come. So that information must still be into the database, into this table here, showing that this guy still owes money, okay? But if uh, on the next month he also managed to pay the money, that means that the amount that he made loan will be equal to the money that he paid. So there's no need for that information to be into this database here, into this table here, because he already paid it. However, for security purpose, for consultation, for future consultation purpose, every time that someone got a loan and every time he paid it, those informations will be saved in a permanent way in this table named TB paid. So the informations that are saved in this table here are permanent, but the ones that are saved into this table here are temporary. And once it happened to be that the amount of the loan equals the amount of the total money paid, those informations to that employee will be automatically removed from the system. All right, that is the reason why when we are saving also into these two different tables. And thirdly, we'll be saving into the table named TB payroll. So for us to be able to consult also, because this is where all the payments are done. And when we need to print out the job card, when we need to print out the pay slip, we're gonna make use of this table here. All right. I think you got the basically the understanding of the importance of this code here. So let's go to execute. I'm going to start the software. You'll see how it works. I'm going to select the employee number 2. Okay, let's go to the employee number 2. Okay, so this guy here owes money. He owes 1,200 to the company, but he said he's going to pay over 3 months. That means that each and every month when he's getting paid, they will deduct 400 from his salary. As you can see, it says loan 400. Okay, so let's try to pay this guy. We come to wages. So we pay him once, and then let's say that this is now another month we need to pay him. So we can see that this guy still owes 400 in terms of loan. But look at the information here. The information has changed. Previously, as you know, the loan that he made, it was 1,200. He said that he's going to pay it over 3 months. He already paid once. All right. And this is the amount per month that he must pay, which is 400. And for now, this guy has paid already 400. So the balance is 800. So it makes sense because he owed 1,200. He paid already 400. So he's left with 800. All right. So that is the meaning of this. But let not. So this is like we are establishing another payroll. And let's make another payroll. Let's say that this guy now, we are paying him again. Go to wages, we click on add. Sorry. So basically this guy is paid twice. So we can see here, as you can see, things are changing. Remember, the balance is no longer 800. The balance is now 400. Why? Because this guy had paid already 800. All right, out of 1,000 200. So let's say that we are now paying this guy for the third time. I click on wages, I click on add. Okay, sorry, let me go to start again. We're going to consult to see if that guy owes still money to the company. Employee number 2. It shows that he owes money to the company. Why? Because this guy paid money. You can see balance is 0. This guy already paid here. We can see he paid 3 times. If we take this one, 1, 2, 3, I mean 400 times 3, it gives us 1.2. So basically, this guy has already paid money. But this table here, table move for the employee number 2, you can see he paid money 3 times. So basically, these informations here were supposed to be deleted automatically after it is verified that the amount of loan is the amount of he paid. You can see he made a loan of 1,200 and he paid 1,200. So there's no use for these informations to come back again here because this guy is no longer owing money to the company. But why is still displaying? Well, it's still displaying because there's something that we need to do. So we need to add some source code that will be deleting automatically from the table, this table here, the information is related to a certain code or certain ID of the employee. If only the amount, the total amount paid equals the total of the money that he was owing to the company. Just going to close this Wi-Fi here. Okay, so let's go for it. I'm going to make some code here. So I call these codes, the source codes. Actually, I have to create a method which I will name private void delete. Okay, just going to copy it the way it is. We copy it. Then I come to, and by the way, that operation must be done whenever we try to search the information from someone for someone. Okay, so we have to use the searching button to delete those informations into the database, into the table name tb paid move. So it has to be the last thing to be done. This is the method. The method is deleting. Okay, so seems like I already created that method. Actually, is this one. Let me just paste it. Okay, so this is the method that has to be called after uh, someone paid everything that he was owing to the company. So let me try to explain to you how it's going to work. The method says this: if the total, the amounts paid equals the total of the amount of the loan that someone has made from the company, and then we have to delete the loan. We're gonna delete the loan. So this delete loan here, it's another method. Okay, it's another method. So which means we have to delete from the loan move. Why is it loan move? We have to where is loan move, which will say that this is the one. We have to delete from this table here. We also have to delete from table move, paid move. Okay, so we're gonna delete from this different table here. Okay, so let me go get these two methods, and then I'm going to copy them here. Delete loan and delete paid. Where it is, I'm going to look for delete loan and delete paid. This is delete paid. This is delete loan. Let me just take it as it is. I'm going to take delete loan. Paste it here. You can see it's no longer underlining this. Let me also take delete paid. I copy it. Then also paste it. All right. Actually, these two lines were supposed to be on top of. Let me do this. Just going to copy, cut them. They have to be above here. Okay, that will make sense. All right. Okay, check quickly. So basically, if the total of the money that is paid is equal to the amount of money which was made as loan, then we have to delete the information from the table, all the movement table, okay? And that is going to happen only after we try to search the information regarding an employee. So let's go for it. Okay, let me select the employee number 2. I click on search. All right. Did you see that? It's no longer showing anything. You can see it's no longer showing anything because the deletion has been done. So let's go to the table. I'm just going to refresh this. All right, let me go to the table. I'm going to the table movements. TB loan. See for the loan. Oh, actually, I'm looking for movements. For movements, you can see here the employee number 2 is no longer here. It disappeared. Why? Because the amount of money that he pays to the company equals the money that he was owing to the company. All right, it's no longer here. So let's go to paid movement. It must not also be there. You can see employee number 2 is no longer there. Okay, so let's try to go for the employee number 1 because it seems like employee number 1. Okay, let me just try to do this. Employee number 1, also him, he paid money. So guys, up to now we managed to establish this payroll system. But after the payroll system is done, we must be able to print the informations from the database. So we have to print the payroll. We have to print the payslip. We must be able to print the payslip, and also I have to explain to you because according to the software that is working, let me try to quickly launch it. This is the software that is already working. Let's say admin. Okay. So this is the software that is already working. If you need to do some payroll, we can see that. So this is the software that is working. So let's try to give some loan to someone. I'm going to give loan to someone. Let's say we're going to give to employee number 1. This is his name. I'm going to give him 500. He's going to pay over 2 months. If we calculate, this is the money that he has to pay. We save it. So let's go try to do some payroll system. If we look through employee number 1, we can see that this guy owes this money here. Okay, so let's say that this guy wants to pay. Okay, he paid for the first time, and the next month, so we can see this is the balance here. And then next month, when the payroll system has been established, this guy pay again. So the third month, when we try to look for the information, you can see they disappear there along here. So which means this guy does not owe any money anymore to the company. But now, after we finish paying someone, we must be able to print out the pay slip as it works. So we need to print out a pay slip. Let me come to print out and pay slip. I'm going to select employee number 1. Then click on print. So it's loading. All right. So we can see now we are able to print out a pay slip. Okay. So this is the pay slip that is established for someone. You know, the employee number 1 is Diego, and you know, this is today's date is the 23rd of February 2022, and right, this is the date where the pay slip has been established, and these are all the details regarding the pay slip for this employee here, and obviously the net pay that this guy must get paid for. So in this payslip, you can print it out. You can make a PDF document, and then we can, you know, you can make PDF document for this uh, payslip. Let me try to name it Diego. And I'm going to save it in my desktop. Just going to save it into my desktop so we can see. It's going to be a PDF document which you can print out. So about the printing, this is what we're going to do in our next video. Okay, let's now check on my desktop if there'll be a document. Obviously, there's a document named Diego. Let me try to open it. Here we go. Here we go. So we managed to make a PDF document, which is a payslip for this employee here. So in the next video, we're going to be able to create the payslip. We're going to do the printing of payslip in the next video, and also we'll be doing the authentication, because look at here, because since I logged as admin, we can see this menu here give me option for give me option to get access to the payroll system. I'm getting access to this payroll system because I logged as admin, because I got access to this menu here, management. But let me close this software, and then I'm going to log like somebody else. All right. Uh, Actually, let me create someone. Sorry. So I'm going to create a new user, which let's say this user is Kevin. Sorry. Now let's say Kevin, and then this is his password. Okay. I save this user here. Let me close the software. I'm going to log Kevin as Kevin. This is the password. Once I click on sign in, you see there's no management here. So which means this user here is limited. You can only create job card or quotation. You can consult the clients and items. You can also print out job card and quotation, but he does not have access to the menu named management, where everything is there, where we can create user, where we can find job card, where we can find payroll system, when we can print out the pay slip. So this guy, since he is logged as somebody else, is not an admin. That is why he does not have any access to the menu named management. So in the next video, we're going to be focusing on the printing of the payslip, and also going to do the security, the authentication. How did I get to give access to the user, to give limited access to the user, and to give the full access to admin? These two subjects will be the one we're going to be talking about in the next video. So guys, thanks a lot for watching my video. I would like please ask you to subscribe if you like this video, because this is the number 4th of a series of videos regarding the C# project, full project, the employee management and the payroll system using uh, SQL Server as database management system. All right. So this is the 4th part, and the 5th part will be the last part, where we're going to be focusing on the printing of payslip, and also how did I manage to give access, the full access to to the admin, and limited access to any other user. So these two subjects will be the one I'm going to make a video for next time. So guys, thanks a lot. Subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and please don't forget to turn on your notification bell, because when I'm going to post again the last part of this series of videos, you're going to be alerted, and that might be beneficial to you. So thanks guys, see you in the next video. Bye.